Welcome to all of you in this class, and here we will discuss today one important topic of the network analysis, and that is two-port network. If we want to study this particular topic, firstly we should know what do you mean by port, what the port exactly is. Now, generally, the tendency of most of the people are, if they are seeing this particular black box with two wires, they used to claim that it is the port, which is not exactly. Because there is some certain conditions to claim any pair as a port. And that condition is, if you will pump the current I from this terminal, the same current I should come out from the another terminal. Then only you can claim that this pair of wire is your port. Otherwise, that is just the terminals or the pair of the terminals, not the port, if they are not satisfying this particular relation. Now, that means you can make a general statement. Every port is a two-terminal device, but not vice versa always. You can never claim that all the two pairs are the port, but definitely port must have to contain at least two pairs, two wires. Okay. Now, if you are getting one pair like this and another pair which will follow the same condition, that means if you will pump the current inside through this particular terminal, that same current must have to leave from the another terminal, then you will get, this is again a port. Whenever you will have only one such type of combination, that is known as a single port network. If you have such type of two pairs which are following the condition, that means it is a two-port network. If you have multiple such type of combination, that means if you pump the current from here and you are getting the same current in the opposite arm, and if it is happening, that means here, if the number of such type of ports are more than two, then that is known as multi-port network. But in the GATE syllabus, we have to restrict ourselves only up to the two-port networks. That means we will study here. The first one is single port network. And the second is two-port network. These two things we will study here in this particular class. Now, firstly, we will discuss the single port network, and most of the part of the single port network we have solved already, unintentionally in the theorem parts. That means if you have any black box like this, if it is black box and you are applying some current source and you are measuring the voltage here, then your independent variable is this current. That means your input, and your response is Y, and you can calculate here V by I is equals to R equivalent. That means the input impedance of this particular black box, how much impedance you will see here. Or another scenario is, if you have any particular port, you will apply here the voltage source of V and you will measure the current I. At this time you will calculate I by V. And here you will get the admittance function, and the general term here is Z. That means from here you can get the impedance function, and from here you can get the admittance function. And the Z calculation and the Y calculations you have already studied in the Thevenin and Norton equivalents. That is why I will not discuss in detail the single port network. My main point of interest here is the two-port network. Now, this is the general representation of the two-port network, because here you have two pairs of such type. If you will pump the current I1 from here, the same current you will get at this side. And if you will pump the current I1, I2 from this side, the same current you will get at the outside. And the developed potential will be this V1 and the developed potential will be the V2. And this is the standard representation of the two-port network. That means you are providing the current from this side, which is developing the voltage here V1. You are applying the current I2 from here, and which is developing the voltage V2. Or in other words, you can say this: you are applying the voltage here, which is developing the current I1, and you are applying the V2, which is developing the current I2. That means here you have the four terms: the V1, I1, V2 and I2. These are the four numbers you have, and which you have a freedom to choose to apply. That means either I will apply I1 and I2, that means the current source in both the terminals, or V1 and V2, voltage source in both the terminals, or voltage source here and the current source here, and the vice versa. That means the current source will be here and voltage source will be here. That means the selection of my source, which type of source I will apply in which side, that will show various parameters of this particular network. That means the characteristic of this particular network, how it will react if I will apply the voltage from here and the current from here, or the voltage from here and the voltage from here also. Then how can I characterize this particular network? That is known as the parameter. That means the set of some numbers by which you can characterize this particular black box. Okay. Now in the first case, I will assume that I am applying the current sources in both the terminals. That means I will apply the I1 from here, which is developing the potential V1, and here I am applying the current source, and here I am applying the current source of I of 2, which is developing the voltage V2. Okay. Now, here I will try to separate. As I know, it is a two-port network, definitely must have to be linear. And if it is linear, that means it will follow the rule of homogeneity as well as the additivity. That means I will calculate the response of V1 and V2 as a function of I1 and I2. That means firstly I will apply the superposition principle in this particular network. As it is a linear circuit, that means it will allow the superposition principle here. And superposition is nothing, just the combination of the homogeneity and the additivity. Just try to apply the homogeneity principle here. And if you will apply the homogeneity principle, then what will you do? If this particular source will act, you will deactivate this particular source. Okay, that means this V1 will be the function of I1. Whatever the function you will get, that must have to be the function of I1. That means here I am calculating this V1 when this particular source is acting, when this I2 will be 0. And again I will calculate this V1 when I will deactivate this and I will activate this. That means the V1 as a function of I2 when I1 is 0. Then I will modify this. That means it is my homogeneity, the V1 just because of this I1, and here the V1 just because of this I2. And only one source is acting at a time. And this source means whatever I have applied, the independent variable of my system. Now, that means homogeneity I have applied, and additivity gives us the permission that after getting the homogeneity result, you have a freedom to add. That means total V1 will be the function of I1 plus function of I2. And now, if this particular network is linear and does not containing any other independent source, then you will get this particular function definitely this I1 will be multiplied by some constant factor only. If this particular network is not consisting any other independent source. Otherwise, it will violate the linearity in this particular system if you have any other source also. Because what will happen, if any other independent source V will also exist in this side, then you will get plus a function of V also. But I am interested only in this particular current response and this particular current response. That means any other independent source is not allowed inside this particular black box. Okay. That means this is not allowed. You can make a note here. Any other independent source is not allowed. That means any independent source is not allowed inside this particular black box. Now, if this function is a multiplication of I1 with some constant factor, I am claiming that it is the Z11I1 plus this is a particular factor which is the multiplication of I2 with some constant factor, and I am claiming that it is Z12I2. And this is my equation number 1. When I got the V1 only as a function of I1 and the function of I2. The same iteration I will do for V2. That means I will calculate the V2 when only this I1 will work and I will replace this. That means my V2 is the function of I1 when the I2 is equals to 0. And again the V2 as a function of I2 when I1 is equals to 0. That means I will apply the homogeneity here. And after this, I will apply the additivity. Additivity means you will just add the values and you will get the V2 is equals to, or if you are facing the problem, you can write down like this. That means V1 dash is just the response because of this I1. V1 2 is just because of the I2. And at the last, you will just add the functions and you will get this. The V2 will be the function of I1 plus the function of I2. So please do not have to worry about that this function of I1 and function of I2 here is equals to the function of I1 here and the function of I2 here. Because the condition there is not same. Because here you are calculating the V1 as a function of I1 when this particular is 0. But here you are calculating the potential here. In the first case, the condition is same but you are calculating the voltage here in this particular terminal. But in this particular case, you are calculating the voltage here. That means this function of I1 and the function of I2 is not same as here. That means it will get multiplied by some other factor which is Z21I1 plus Z22I2 and V2. And this is my equation number 2. Okay. That means I will define the V1 as a function of I1, I2 as well as the V2 as a function of I1 and I2. And I will try to make a pair of equations. V1 is equals to Z11I1 plus Z12I2 and V2 is equals to Z21I1 plus Z22I2. That means up to now I have applied only the current sources. I have calculated the value of V1 and V2 as function of the independent variables. That means here my dependent variables are V1 because the V1 value is depending on the I1 and I2 as well as the V2 value is depending on the I1 and I2 because you cannot change the value of the voltages here directly. You have a freedom only to change your source values, not the responses. Directly you cannot change the response until you are not changing the inputs. That means inputs are here I1 and I2. Okay. Now, just define all these factors, the constant values, with whatever you are getting. Z11. Firstly, assume that you are removing this particular source. Then how many factors you can calculate? This, if you will eliminate this I2, then this particular side will go to hell and you will get the Z11 is equals to V1 by I1 and Z21 is equals to V2 by I1, and here the condition will be I2 is equals to 0. That means in this particular case, these two ratios you can calculate. And second case, you will remove this particular part and you will calculate the V2 and I2. That means in this particular case, whenever you will remove this particular side you are removing, and you will calculate the response just because of this particular current source, and you will get Z12 and Z22 is equals to V1 divided by I2 and V2 divided by I2, and the condition is I1 is equals to 0. But what is the meaning of removing the current towards 0? Whose value can change? You can change directly only the value of the independent variable, not the entire responses. That is why all the time you are removing this particular source towards 0. And current towards 0 is the meaning that it is the open circuited. That means whatever the constant functions you are getting, that is just because of this. That is why this particular arrangement and whatever the 4 parameters you are getting, constant values, that is known as the open circuited parameter, where the I1 and I2 are my independent variable and V1 and V2 are my dependent variable. And if you are doing such type of arrangement, that means you are calculating the open circuited parameter in this particular network. Now, see the unit of Z11, Z21, Z12 and Z22. V by I, V by I, V by I, V by I. That means all these 4 parameters having the unit of ohm, which is basically the impedance, V by I. That means it is also known as the impedance parameter. And the symbolic representation of the impedance is Z. That is why it is also known as the Z parameter. Either they will ask the open circuit parameter or the Z parameter or the impedance parameter, all have the same meaning. Now if you are getting such type of arrangements and you are getting such type of equations, and I want to know if I will apply this type of current source, how my equivalent will be. That means what is inside this particular black box by which I can replace. That means I will draw this equivalent of V1 and V2 in these particular equations. That means now I will replace this particular part and I am redrawing this. That means I have applied the I1 from here and have applied the I2 from here, and I want to replace that particular black box by an equivalent circuit. Now, you know it is a voltage. That means you will write down the KVL equation. KVL equation because the summation of voltage will be 0 in the KVL equation. Z11 I1. It is a current, that means it must have to impedance, and it is the value Z11 I1. That means this voltage you will get here, this particular voltage. Now Z12 I2, but I2 is not present in this particular port side because I2 is the current of that port. That means here you will get now the voltage source and the value is Z12 I2 because this current I2 is not present in this particular. This particular voltage will depend on that. That is why you are getting the dependent source Z12 I2. The same thing you will do from here. That means V2 is basically here. Multiplication of Z22 I2. I2 is here. That means here the value will be Z22. Again, you are getting the function of I1 in the second port and the I1 is current at the first put, not in the second. That means here again you will get 1 Z21 I1. And why I have shorted this? Because I have assumed that both are with respect to the ground only. That means this is the internal equivalent of the Z parameter network. This particular. This inside part is basically the Z parameter equivalent network. Z parameter equivalent network. This inside this. Now I hope all of you got this. That means the selection of my independent and dependent variables, iterations, will tell me how my circuit will look like of the inside network. First iteration we have completed where we have introduced only the current sources on both the sides. Now, in this particular case, I will apply the voltage source on both the sides and I will try to measure the current. V1 and V2. And I will assume that the current is I1 through this particular and I2 is this particular. Now again, my responses are I1 and I2, my excitations are V1 and V2. That means I will try to measure this current I1 as a function of V1 plus the function of V2. That means this is homogeneity, this is homogeneity. After addition is this superposition, additivity. And similarly this I2 will be a function of V1 plus the function of V2. That means once you will apply this, you will remove that and you will calculate the ratios accordingly. That means if it is a linear circuit, this I1 will be the function of V1 plus the function of V2. Okay. That means here, whenever you will simplify here, this I1 will become some factor multiplied by this V1. That means Y11 into V1 plus Y12 V2. Some constant factor multiplied by your excitation. That means it will change the magnitude of this. That's it. It cannot change the phase or anything else. Similarly, this I2 will be Y21 V1 plus Y22 V2. Okay. Now just try to estimate all the parameters here. Yes, you have to apply the homogeneity and you will get all the parameters. Homogeneity tells us that only one source will act at a time and you will remove the other. First you remove the first, the V2 is equals to 0. That means I am removing this. V2 is equals to 0 means short circuiting you are applying here. You will short this particular source and you will try to calculate the value of this I1 and this I2. Just calculate. Whenever you will put the V2 value here 0, V2 value here 0, you will get the Y11 is equals to I1 by V1. And similarly Y21 is equals to I2 by V1. That means this I1 as a function of V1 and this I2 as a function of V1. This is why when you are getting this, whenever you are removing the second side source, now I will apply the homogeneity in the first side. That means I will remove this and I will try to measure that I1 and I2 as a function of V2 only. And as you will apply here, you will get Y12 is equals to I1 by V2. And here you will get the Y22 is I2 by V2. And the condition is this. Now here see, you are removing the voltage sources on both the sides. That means you are applying the short circuit path in both the sides. That means whatever the parameter you are getting here, whatever the equations you are getting, whatever the parameter you are getting, just because of shorting the terminals, that is why it is also known as the short circuit parameter. This is known as the short circuited parameter. Now see the unit of all the parameters. I by V, I by V, I by V, I by V. That is why it is also known as the admittance parameter. And the symbolic representation of the admittance is Y. That is why it is also known as the Y parameter. That means just the selection of independent and dependent variable will change my entire structure of the parameters. Now again try to draw the equivalent circuit of these particular equations. Again draw the ports exactly. This is your exact port network, and you will ground this because I am drawing both the sides with respect to the common ground. Now this particular, the multiplication is basically the current, and if it is voltage, it must have to be the admittance. Yes or no? Voltage into admittance, that means here you will get this particular current. This particular current is this. Voltage into admittance. Now, here you are getting some particular voltage which is not present in the first side. It is dependent on the second side. But equivalent will be the current only. Because it is current, that means this will be current and this will be also a current. But this current is dependent on the voltage on the second side. That means it is basically the voltage controlled current source. That means the value will be Y12 V2. This is a current source whose value is dependent on the voltage on the second side. Now similarly, you will try to measure this. Here, this is the function and the second side whose value is dependent on the voltage at the first side. That means again you will get the current source in this side. Because here, in the second source, in the second side you are trying to write down the equation that this voltage is present in the first side. That means Y21 V1, and this is the admittance into voltage, then only you will get this particular current. That means this particular current is this. And this is the internal architecture of the Y parameter. Equivalent Y parameter. Now, this is again my two-port network, but in this particular case, firstly I will apply the current source in this particular side, and I will apply the voltage source on the second side. That means I am not changing my internal architecture. Only my perspective to see this particular network is changing. That means I am changing only the outside of this particular internal architecture. That is, firstly I will apply the current, then voltage, then current voltage, then current voltage. And I will see how my structure will change accordingly. Because these are only the possibilities. Either you can apply the voltage or you can apply the current. That is why I am exploring all the possibilities in particular network. If you are applying here the I1, that means you can measure here the value of V1. And if you are applying the voltage V2 here, you can measure the current I2. That means what will you do? The independent variables are I1 and V2, which you are applying, and the developed parameters are V1 and I2. That means firstly I will measure the function of V1, which is the function of I1, the function of V2, and I will measure the current I2, which is the function of I1 plus the function of V2. That means this V1 will get multiplied by I1 with some constant factor for this, and V2 will get multiplied by some constant factor. Because it is a linear network, it can only change the magnitude of the numbers, not the nature of that particular sources. It cannot change the nature of the sources, it can only change the magnitude of this. That means this V1 can be written as H11 I1, which is only just a pure constant number, plus H12 V2, and I2 will be H21 I1 plus H22 V2. Now again, just try to calculate all these constant values. Whenever I will calculate this, that means firstly I will remove this side, I will short this. That means homogeneity I am trying to apply. V2 is equals to 0, which is the meaning that it is a short circuit. And I will calculate the value of H11 and the value of H21. I2 by I1, and here you will get the V1 by I1. Now my second side is I1. I1 is equals to 0, which is the meaning that it is an open circuit. And whenever you will place this I1 is equals to 0, you can calculate the value of H12 and the value of H22. H22 will be I2 by V2 and H12 will be V1 by V2. That means this and this. But the beauty here is, here you are not opening both the terminals, you are not shorting both the terminals. You are shorting this particular terminal to get the parameters, and you are open circuited this particular current source to get the parameter. That means it is the parameter which you can get by opening and shorting together. Okay, you cannot get this particular parameter by shorting both the terminals or by open circuited both the terminals. That is why it is a combination of both, and combination means hybrid. That is why this particular parameter is also known as the hybrid parameter. And the starting result of this hybrid is H. That is why it is also known as the H parameter. But another reason of this, see the unit of all. Here V1 upon I1, which is basically the input impedance in this side, because you have removed this. That is why it is also known as the HI. Then I2 by I1, that is the output current divided by the input current. That is why it is also known as the HF. Now this H12 V1 upon V2. V1 divided by V2. But general my expectation is output upon input, but here I am doing input upon output. That means I am reversing the gain. That is why it is also known as the HR. And here it is my HO. The unit of this will be ohm. Here the unit is unitless because it is a ratio of currents and it is a ratio of voltages. But here the unit is admittance. All the four parameters have the different properties, which is basically the mixture of all the combination. Only these things can happen in any particular circuit. Either current gain, voltage gain, impedance and admittance. And here you are getting the combination of all the parameters. That is why it is known as the hybrid parameter. Now we will try to draw the equivalent circuit of the hybrid parameter. Now this is only the outer part of my two-port network, and I want to see how my circuit will look like from inside this. Now, here in this first case, you are writing the voltages. That means you will write down here the KVL equation. This is just because of KVL, and here you are writing the current, that is why it is KCL, combination of KVL and KCL. Now, here it must have to be impedance, which is multiplied by the current. That means here you will get H11, and here this particular is a voltage whose values is dependent on the voltage on the another side. That is why here you will get the dependent source. Plus minus, the voltage value is H12 V2. That means voltage dependent voltage source you will get here. Now for the second side you will write down the currents, and here this particular factor you are getting, which is a current, because left side is current, and whose value is dependent on the current in the first side. That means here you will get one dependent current source whose value is dependent on the first side, and it is the voltage multiplied admittance equals to current. That means here you will get H22. Now you can think like this, why I have drawn this in series, why this in parallel? Because here you are adding the currents, and current addition or subtraction is only possible in the parallel combination, and the voltage subtraction or voltage addition is only possible in the series combination. Okay, that means this particular network, the equivalent H parameter, and this is so much important from the analog electronics point of view. That means if you want to learn any small signal analysis in any transistor, you should know what is the H parameter equivalence. Otherwise you will face the problem there. Now, it is again my two-port network, and here I will only change my orientation with respect to H. In the H, I have applied here the value of I1, that is current source in this side and the voltage source on that side. Here I will change only the selection of my independent variable. In this side I will apply the voltage source now, V1, and I will apply the current source in this side, I2. And developed potential is V2, and here response is my I1. That means what will I do? Firstly I will write down I1 is a function of my V1 plus function of my I2. Then I will write down the value of V2, which is a function of V1 plus the function of I2. Now I am just inverting this, that is why it is also known as the inverse H parameter. Inverse H parameter, and most general representation of this number is G parameter. That means whatever the constant factors you will get, that is only the G parameter of this. That means you can write down here I1 is equals to V1 multiplied by some factor. That means G11 V1 plus G12 I2. Here V2 is equals to G21 V1 plus G22 I2. Same as you have done for H parameter, the same analysis you will do here for this. That means firstly you will remove the current source from that side, that means I2 will be 0, and you will get G11 and the value of G21. G21 will be V2 by V1, and here you will get I1 upon V1. That means both the responses just because of this particular. Now, that means you have applied the homogeneity on that side. Now, I will apply here. That means I will remove this V1 is equals to 0. And I will calculate the response I1 and V2. And I will get G12 is equals to I1 divided by I2 and V2 by I2, which is my G22. Again you will see here current upon voltage, that means you will get the admittance here which has the unit of mho, unitless, again it is also unitless, and voltage upon current, that means here you will get the ohm. Here also all the parameters have the different units and the different factors also. It is admittance, it is voltage gain, it is current gain, and it is the impedance. That means all the parameters have different unit and different parameters. That is why it is also inverse hybrid. That means it is a hybrid, just you have replaced the independent variable, dependent variable positions, not anything else. Now if you want to draw the equivalent of this particular network, what will you do? Firstly, you will draw the outside of this. It is V1 and producing the current I1. In this side, you have the current I2 which is producing the voltage V2, and it is short circuited. Now in the first side you are writing down the current, and you can add only in the parallel. Current addition is only possible in the parallel, and you will write down the KCL equation for this, because addition of the current is only possible at node. That means here you will get G11 into V1, this is this current, and here the current in the first side is dependent on the current on the second side. That is why you will draw the equivalent current on this side, that means this value is G12I2. That means current in the first terminal is dependent on the current on the second side. Just write down the equation for this particular network, this particular equation, and you will get that. Here you will write down the KVL equation, because you are adding the voltages, and that must have to be in series, because the voltage addition is only possible in the series interconnection. That means here you will get G22 into I2, this is the potential, and here in the second side the voltage is dependent on the first side voltage also, that is why you will draw this, and here the value will be G21V1. That means this is the internal architecture of the G parameter, equivalent structure of the G parameter, this blue shaded region. And things are very simple, only you just have to observe the independent and dependent variable, and you will get the meaning of the parameters. Now it is also my the two-port network, but scenario will be little bit different here, because whatever the parameter I will define here, that is just the application of the communication engineering in this. That means what will I do? I will send some voltage and current from this side, and I will measure the voltage and current at this particular side. That means I am applying the voltage source at this side V1, and I know the current is I1 on this side. Now I will measure the voltage at this side, and with some load I will get the current I2 also in this side. Okay, but this I2 is not my standard direction of the two-port network. That means I will not change my original direction, which is I2. It is my parameter direction, but the original direction of my current is this. Red one is my original direction of current, which I will get on this side, and the developed potential is this. Now what will I do? I will try to manage this V1 and I1 as a function of V2 and I2, irrespective of the previous parameters. Okay, that means I will send something from here, and I will receive at the second terminal, and with the help of these two parameters on the receiving end, I will try to manage my V1 and I1. That means I will represent this V1 and I1 as a function of V2 and I2. That means if I am sending something from my input side, whatever the thing I am getting at the output side, I will try to estimate my input again. Am I getting the same thing or not. That means this parameter basically will tell the transmission efficiency of this particular network. That means here I will do V1 as a function of V2 plus the function of minus I2, because my original direction of this parameter is towards my port, but actual direction whatever you will get, that is leaving from your port. That means the minus I2. And similarly this I1 is equals to function of my V2 plus the function of my minus I2. That means I will send something from here and I will receive something from there, and I will try to manage my input with respect to this. That means I want to symbolize this particular with respect to my inputs. Now, again, here you are getting the V1 as a function of V2 and I2. That means you are trying to estimate now. You are not measuring with this. Now that means if you will remove this, what is the meaning of this? You will create an open circuit. Whenever you remove this, that means you are creating the short circuit. When you will making this I2 is equals to 0, then you will get some factor here, or before this, just try to estimate this. That means V1 will be the function of V2 multiplied by some factor which is known as the AV2 plus B of minus I2. I1 is equals to CV2 plus the D of minus I2. Because we are trying to estimate the V1 as a function of V2 and minus I2. Now, whenever you will put this I2 is equals to 0, you will get the A is equals to V1 upon V2 and the C value is I1 upon V2. Now, if you will put this V2 is equals to 0, you will get V is equals to V1 upon minus I2 and the D value is I1 divided by minus I2. And this particular is coming from the communication theory. That means you are transmitting something and you are trying to see the efficiency of this transmission. That is why these four parameters will tell you how efficient you can transfer the data from here to here. That is why this is known as the transmission parameter. Transmission parameter or T parameter. Okay. Or according to this ABCD, it is also known as the ABCD parameter. All are same. But you have to take care about here about this minus sign. Most of the time, students used to do the mistake just because of this minus sign. They are trying to ignore this particular direction of the current. So please concentrate on this whenever you are dealing with the transmission parameter. Otherwise, you will do the mistake in the exam. Now see the beauty of this. V1, you are getting the voltage on the second side and the current on the second side, and you are trying to estimate this I1, which is all the function you have on the second side. That means you cannot draw the equivalent circuit of this particular T network. Now, here we will firstly try to estimate the parameters of some standard circuits. That is, my first circuit is T network. Whenever we will discuss about the T network, that means this is my equivalent T network. This is my equivalent T network, and I want to define here the Z parameter of this. That means I will apply the current source on both the sides and I will try to manipulate the voltage on both the sides. That means here the current is I1 in this particular loop. You will assume that the current is I1. So please, whenever you are dealing with the port network, you not have to assume that any port is open circuited. Here I am applying this and I am telling that the current is I1. Nobody will assume like this. If it is like this, that means you have applied some current here. It is not open circuited. So please, if it is a port question, it is automatically pre-assume that you are getting some close path here. Now, I2 in this side also. Just try to write down the equation on both the sides and you will get the V1 is ZA plus ZB into I1 plus ZB I2, and the V2 is equals to ZB plus ZC I2 plus ZB I1. Just write down the KVL equation both the sides and you will get this. Now, try to manage in the matrix form. ZA plus ZB, ZB, ZB and ZB plus ZC. And here you can equate with this, and this is the matrix representation of the standard Z parameter. Now whenever you will equate this, you will get the Z11 is equals to ZA plus ZB, Z12 is equals to ZB plus Z12 is equals to ZB, Z21 is equals to ZB, Z22 is equals to ZB plus ZC. That means the total impedance in the first loop will be the Z11. The total impedance in the second loop will give you the Z22, and the common part in this will tell you the value of Z12 and Z21. That means if they will provide the T particular network and they will ask the Z parameter of that, you should not have to pick the pen. Only the observation is enough to tell about the Z parameter of the T network. Okay, that is why if they will provide me the Z parameter, automatically, definitely I will calculate the Z parameter of this, of T particular network. Whether they will ask the H or anything else, I will calculate the Z parameter first, then I will convert this Z into H. If the T they are providing, definitely I will calculate the Z parameter of the T particular network. My next standard circuit is pi network, and the pi network is this: ZA, ZB, ZC. And here again my current is I1 and the voltage is V1. And the current is I2 and the voltage is V2 in this side. And here calculate the Y parameter of this particular network. Y parameter means the independent variables will be V1 and V2 and my dependent variable will be I1 and I2. That means I will try to manage the I1 and the I2 as a function of V1 and V2. Just try to write down the KCL equation. I1 is coming towards the node, this particular current will go here and this particular current will go here. Try to apply the KCL at this particular node. It is incoming towards this and remaining current will go outside of this. That means V1 by ZA plus V1 minus V2 by ZB. In the second side, whenever you will do this, that means the V2 minus V1 by ZB plus V2 by ZC. Whenever you will separate the V1 and V2 terms, you will get the I1 is equals to 1 upon ZA plus 1 upon ZB I1 minus or plus minus 1 upon ZB I2 Whenever you will write down here V2 is equals to minus 1 upon ZB I1 plus 1 upon ZB plus 1 upon ZC I2. Sorry, it is not I1 I2, it is V1 and V2. Now see, whenever you will compare this with the standard Y parameters, you will get the Y parameter of this is given by Y11 V1, Y12 V2, Y21 V1, Y22 V2. That means 1 upon ZA plus 1 upon ZB minus 1 upon ZB minus 1 upon ZB 1 upon ZB plus 1 upon ZC. So here you are not adding the impedances, you are adding the admittances. That is why I can write down like this also. Y is basically YA plus YB minus YB minus YB and YB plus YC. That means you will add the admittances directly. See, admittance of this branch is a common part in Y1, Y12 and Y21, and total admittance in this particular node is your Y11, and total admittance in this particular node is YB plus YC. That means if they will provide the Y parameter, if they will provide me the pi network, I will calculate the Y parameter in the first attempt, because to get the Y parameter or the pi network is easiest approach. Okay. You not have to pick the pen to tell the Y parameter of the pi network. But what will happen if I will provide the Y and if I will ask the Z parameter? Then you have two approaches of this. The first one is either calculate the Y and take the inverse of this, because in the equations just the interchange of the variables you have. That means if you will interchange the variables, you will get from Y to Z. That means you can calculate this. Mod of Z is equals to Y inverse, but the exception condition is mod of Y should not be 0. Similarly, vice versa also. Z inverse will be Y when mod of Z will not be 0. That is why these are inversible to each other. Or I have one more method. If I will apply a delta to star conversion here, and I will convert this pi network into T network, and I can calculate the Z parameter of the T network very easily. That means two methods you can choose here, either star to delta, delta to star, or take the inverse of this particular Y parameter equations. And it's all about Z parameters.